reading from John 14:13 through 14. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it. The word of the Lord.
Each of our mission trips that go out every summer go out with a set of scripture that help to focus them on their time together. And as we welcome Kayla Schlotman and Lauren Holland forward to talk about their experiences with Mission DFW, we're reminded that they went all the way to sunny Argyle, Texas, just 45 minutes of here, to be with Briarwood Lutheran Camp on their week of serving in camp. They spend time in camp. They go out during the day to do different mission projects around the DFW Metroplex, even to Waco as well. And then they come back to reflect on all of it and enjoy the creaturely comforts of camp. And so let's welcome both Kayla and Lauren today.
Good morning. My name is Kayla Schlotman, and I went on the Mission DFW trip through Briarwood. Before I get started, I'd easily say that Mission DFW is my favorite trip that I've gone to through PMLC. But at the beginning of the trip, when we were introduced to our 17 roomies, hot cabin, and one working shower, I didn't know if it was going to be as fun as last year was. But the next day, we went to MOSAIC, which is my favorite volunteering spot, and we entertained the residents, we talked to them, we just overall built relationships with them, and as soon as we left, I finally started to comprehend the connections that I've made, and I realized that camp was going to be a lot better than I first expected. And over the next few days, we went to a farm located in Waco, CCA, and Crossroads. And all of those were really, really fun, and sometimes you could see that you were helping people, and sometimes it wasn't as direct as MOSAIC was, when you could see the smiles that you made and you can see the people that you helped. And this camp really helped me realize that you're never alone, and that you have God always, but you also have other people. And I learned this through the diversity circle, where you stand in a circle and a bunch of situations are read, and if it applies to you, you step forward, look around the circle, and see everyone who stands with you. This later, I didn't know at the time that God was really there talking to me, but I found out later when my grandfather passed away that God was telling me that other people were there with me because they read "If You've Lost a Loved One," and so many people stepped forward, and now I know that I know who to call or who to text whenever I have grieving happening, and God was really telling me right there that I will have people to get through that with me, and that really helped. And I also learned that you don't have to travel 1,000 miles away to help someone, and you don't have to do like crazy things to help people, like build a house, because I'm not always capable of doing that stuff. So you can just look to the people all around you and next to you and hold out your hand and just smile at them, and that's also helping and doing what we were called here to do, which was serve the Lord and love our neighbors as ourselves. And really, this camp was a great experience for my faith to grow and my friendships to grow and build new friendships, and I couldn't thank Jay enough for letting us go on these mission trips. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lauren Holland, and I also went on the Mission DFW. This was my second year there. One of the main things that really stood out to me was the farm in Waco, because we had to travel 2 hours there in the morning, and we were all very tired and hungry and etc. So outside in the farm, it's Texas and it's hot, so it was about 102 out that day, and we had one little shady area, but it was buzzing with a lot of wasps, and a lot of people were kind of freaking out, like, I don't want to get stung. And so we did a lot of stuff that I wouldn't normally do. Like, we tore out tomato plants and pruned back basil and stuff you normally just wouldn't do here in Plano. But the thing that really stood out to me there was afterwards, once we were done, we got to see these houses that these people built. These people built these traditional Nicaraguan houses. These houses were made and styled like the houses in a third world country. And there was 10 people there doing this thing where you would stay for 3 days and you would experience how life in those third world countries are. So 7 of these people, they represented the 70% of people in Nicaragua that are the lowest of low. They're way below the poverty line, and they live outside, and the people there ate rice and drank water mixed in with some coffee grounds, so it didn't taste too good. But the rice wasn't even that good. It wasn't like the sweet rice we usually have. It was very watered down, bland, and flavorless, and they ate it all out of a pot with their hands on the ground. Then 2 people represented the low class. These people got to sit at a table but didn't have much better food. They had clean water and a little bit of meat and rice. They lived in a house with a dirt floor and no windows, and I couldn't last 2 minutes in that house because there was a huge spider, and I am deathly afraid of spiders. And then 1 person sat at the high table alone. This person had plates, silverware, clean water, a salad, rice, meat, and they lived in this little mud house. It was like a 1-room mud house, but it kept it really cool, which was nice in the hot heat. And what really struck me is when you think middle class here in America, you think maybe a nice 2-story house and a vacation every once in a while. But these people just had a 1-room mud house, and that was all they needed because they needed to stay cool. And that really struck me because you always see those commercials of to reach out and donate money or time and help people in third world countries, and it always shows the little kids who are hungry in their houses and stuff, but it never really hits you till you see it in person, how serious this is and how much it really affects you and shakes you. And it may not have been a third world country, but it still paints a very accurate picture. And the second thing about camp that really struck me was the diversity circle, like Kayla said. You stand in a circle, and the leader reads something aloud, and if it applies to you, you step forward into the circle, and you look around to see who has gone through the same experiences, although they may be a little different. And afterwards, we were doing an activity that we had to wait a little bit of time, and so I got with 2 of the girls from PMLC and 2 of the girls from Faith Lutheran, who was the other church that went with us, and we all talked and laughed and shared our experiences and helped each other. And it was just really deep because I didn't have to go out and do work. I just had to listen and talk with somebody. And I think that made a lot of difference for me and the other girls that I was talking with. Mission DFW has really changed my outlook because you don't need to travel a lot. There's things going on right here in our community that need work. And if we can help a little bit, that makes a huge difference for a lot of people. Thank you.
A reading from Matthew 14:12-15. He said also to one who had invited him, "When you give a luncheon or a dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or rich neighbors, in case they may invite you in return, and you would be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind, and you will be blessed, because they cannot repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." One of the dinner guests on hearing this said to him, "Blessed is anyone who will eat bread in the kingdom of God." The word of the Lord.
Every year, our Shalom Choir goes out to do mission and ministry work as well, and they sing, they ring, and they do these service opportunities. This year, they found themselves going to Chicago, Illinois. They're originally supposed to go to Columbus, Ohio, but as often as we find when we're planning these trips, little things come along the way to test our patience and our faith in God. And we lost a place to stay, we lost some service projects, and so we turned our eyes to Chicago, and they had a really great opportunity. So I'm going to invite Annalise Best and Jack Fortin here to describe their experiences in the Music and Mission Tour 2017. Annalise and Jack, so welcome.
Hi, my name is Annalise Best, and I'll be a freshman in high school in a week. Yikes. And I just went on my second mission trip. On June 5th, I left with the rest of Shalom Choir and Bells to Chicago, Illinois. In Chicago, our choir and bells performed concerts and helped run a summer camp at a nonprofit rec center called the Kroc Center in the south side of Chicago. When we first arrived at the Kroc Center, we were assigned jobs we would do for the rest of the week. I had my fingers crossed that I would get to be a camp counselor for some cute little kids, be a great role model, make some sort of huge impact in some kid's life, yada, yada, yada. Jay was reading off people who would be working in which group of kids, and my name still wasn't called by the time he read kitchen duty. Grace Bynum, Max Rose, Brian St. John, and Annalise Best. Naturally, my heart sunk. I thought I'd miss out on making connections with all the kids, and even though making lunches is very important, I wasn't exactly excited. But this was our job, so the four of us made our way to the kitchen. A small, sassy, older woman named Kiran greeted us with trays and trays of food that had to be packed within an hour. Yikes. But we put on some rubber gloves and got to work. As we were packing, Kiran kept teasing us, especially Max, but the topic soon drifted to what we wanted to be when we grew up. Max said he was thinking about law, Brian about math and science, and then it was my turn. Great. The dreaded time when I have to tell an adult that I want to pursue theater, and they tell me I should change my mind. I sigh and tell her that theater is what I'm currently passionate about and what I'm seriously considering majoring in, bracing for the impact of the negative response. But she just nods and looked at me the same way she looked at Brian and Max when they'd mentioned their, sensible career options. We continue our conversation, her not questioning my plans one bit. Well, when she told me to follow my passion, do what I enjoy, and that's the best way I can be happy. So that was really sweet. And then the next day, Grace and I had just finished serving lunches, and we're walking back into their sanctuary, and she's eating a slice of cake. I don't know where she got this slice of cake, but she has cake. It's fine. So she pulls us aside, and she's like, okay, girls. So I have this special cake. It's called my love cake. I make it from the heart. And I want you to get Brian and Max to meet me in the kitchen, and I'll give you all a piece of my cake. And we're like, ooh, yum, okay. So we get Brian and Max, and we take them to the kitchen. And then she gives us our little slices of cake. And we're like, oh my goodness, it's so good. It was really good cake, by the way, in case you were wondering. But so we're all talking about how good her cake is, and she was like, well, that's the response I want. I don't want people asking for more of it and asking when I'm going to make the next one. Just appreciate what they have in the moment. And it was a good way to teach us a little life lesson there. And yeah, so when I said goodbye to Kiran, she was like, now make sure you go back to Texas and tell everyone about the crazy old black woman you met. So this is me doing that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jack Forden, and this was my 4th mission trip. And being on so many mission trips, I realized how different they impact me, each and every single one of them. And in this one, the mission work that we did really hit home for me. As Annalise said, we volunteered 3 days out of the week at the Kroc Center in Chicago. And this basically was a summer camp for the little kids in Chicago. And as Annalise worked the kitchen, I got one of the groups. I had probably about 20 9 and 10-year-olds, and I didn't really know what to think about going into it because I didn't know if they were going to be nice, mean, scary, who knows. Like, I just wanted to be able to impact these kids. And the first day was a little weird, but I got into the groove, and I just realized how great these kids were and how blessed they felt to have us helping them. And the impact that I had on them was so great. I totally did not think that I would have that great of an impact on them. So one of the days, so I think we spent Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We skipped Wednesday. And I didn't know if the kids would remember me from Thursday, but all of them were like, "Oh, hey, Jack," and it was all great, And I think this trip really impacted my faith by showing me that God could work through everyone, and I could impact everyone through the work that I was doing, and that was great. So thank you.
Get your foam finger here, get your foam fan finger here. They're going fast, so don't be last. Get your foam fan finger here.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm selling foam fan fingers. Get your foam fan finger here, get them while they're hot.
Yes, I see that you're selling foam fingers. What with all the yelling and foam fingers? What I should have asked is, why here? You do know this is a church building, right?
Of course I realize this is a church building. That's why I'm here. I saw it almost every Sunday. This place is full of Jesus fans.
Jesus fans?
Yeah, Jesus fans. Oh, did you get a load of that? Jesus just healed a blind man. Bet you wish you had a foam fan figure now, don't you?
I don't need a foam finger to praise God, and I'm still confused as to why.
Are you kidding me? Jesus just told someone to sell all his possessions, everything. I hate it when Jesus goes all old school like that.
Oops, you dropped something. In old school, how is living a more sacrificial lifestyle considered old school?
Oh yes, God's number one, God's number one, God's number one.
Wait, I missed it. What happened?
Jesus just made a whip
Yeah?
out of leather and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then he stormed into the building, kicking over pews and kicking out animals and stuff like that. And then he stormed over to children and he said, "It is written, this place is supposed to be a place of worship, but you have changed it into a den of thieves." It was awesome. Here's the instant replay. "Get out of here, you son of a gun." Oh, I love it when Jesus goes all Hail Mary like that.
I did just see it on the screen, and I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. It's just a sports term I threw in. Oh, what is he doing now?
Oh, Jesus is feeding the poor. You go, Jesus.
Oh, I hate it when he does that. It's so... Ugh. Tell me when he's done. Is he done?
No.
Is he done yet?
Not yet. Jesus hung out with lots of poor people, you know.
It's so messy. Is he done?
And now.
Oh, thank goodness.
He's touching lepers now.
Oh, that's even worse!
Jesus hung out with lots of poor people and healed a lot of sick people. You should know that. You said you come here every Sunday.
Yeah, but I pretend those things don't happen. You know, when I get home, all I do is watch like all the big fights and knockouts and stuff like that.
But that's not who Jesus is.
Oh, what are you doing now? Hit him back!
He's turning the other cheek.
I know, but what is he doing? Come on!
You know, I've really looked into that book called the Bible.
The B-I-B... The Bible? Oh wait, no, the Bible. Yeah, I don't read that.
Shocking.
Oh, what is he doing now? Get down from there!
He's on the cross.
I know I have eyes, you ding-dong, but come on now, you got or not, man. You know what, this is what happens when you feed the poor, heal the sick, and turn the other cheek. You know what, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm out of here.
No, wait, don't go. This is the game-changing moment.
A reading from Luke 10, 27, 28. A lawyer answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbors as yourself." And he said to him, "You have given the right answer. Do this and you will live." The word of the Lord.
At the end of July, several of our youth and adults went to Hillside, Colorado, where they participated in a week of camp in the Sangre de Christo Mountains with Rainbow Trail Lutheran Camp. And Grace Long was one of our participants there as well. She'll tell you some of the experiences. Some of the joys of being at that camp are to be in that mountain setting. You get to participate in some of the hikes. There's half-day or full-day hikes you can go on, or even whitewater rafting. So let's welcome Grace Long.
Hi, everybody. My name is Grace Long. I'm going to be a sophomore in high school in a week, and I went to Rainbow Trail, which was easily the best week of my life. And I just want to thank Jay for taking us on the amazing trip. It was such a great week because we did all the camp things like hiking and rafting and staying up till 2, crying in our cabin, deep conversations, that kind of stuff. But also, while I was at camp, I got to appreciate what Lutherans really are. As Lutherans, we are not only allowed but encouraged to question and challenge our beliefs, because that's what Martin Luther did, and we should all follow his example. And also, as Lutherans, we embrace and celebrate diversity. We accept everybody, no matter what color, who they like, what kind of pizza they like, I don't know. Just, we accept everybody, regardless of who they are. And at camp, we had real discussions about real life. It wasn't sugar-coated because we're at church camp and everybody loves Jesus, but we really talked, and I got to understand how God works in the real world and how we should all follow his example. And thank you.
Because of faith,
reading from Matthew 10:40 to 42. Whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Whoever welcomes a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. And whoever welcomes a righteous person in the name of a righteous person will receive the reward of the righteous person. And whoever gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple, truly I tell you, none of these will lose their reward. The word of the Lord.
The first trip of the season was a trip to Jacmel, Haiti, for God's Party by the Sea. And often when we take these trips, we have an opportunity at the beginning to talk to our youth, our young adults, and the others who are with us on these trips to talk about what we're building. And many of the times when we come back home from these trips, people want to know, what did you build when you went on the trip? Did you build a house? Did you paint a wall? What kinds of things did you do? And a lot for us, our focus, our philosophy about these trips is, why build a wall or a house or paint something when so many folks are unemployed, or so many folks who do a much better job than us? Let's employ people so they can feed their families. Let's instead focus on building relationships. And so when we come home, we're able to tell people how we connect with kids, or a lady in a kitchen, or especially little children in one of the most impoverished countries in the Western Hemisphere. So I want to invite Zadie Vetter and Allison Krause forward right now to share with us their experiences of God's great big party by the sea in very sunny, hot Jacmel, Haiti. So let's welcome Zadie and Allison.
Hi, my name is Allison Krause, and I went on the Haiti trip for the first time this summer. Although this was my first mission trip to Haiti, I have been on multiple mission trips, one each summer, in fact, since I was in 6th grade. This trip to Haiti was definitely different than all the mission trips I have previously been on, not only because of the location and the weather, but because of the way I felt God working throughout the week. Something everyone tells you before you go to Haiti is to prepare for the heat because it will make the trip a little bit difficult. I remember stepping off the plane in Port-au-Prince and thinking about how hot, in fact, it was, and we were still in the airport and not quite outside yet. But after that first day, I can't really think of a time when the heat was really on my mind. Okay, actually I lied. There was one other time when I was thinking about the heat. The first night we spent at John 3:16 Guest House, which was the place we stayed for the week, our girls' room was unbelievably hot, which was weird because we were lucky enough to have some form of air conditioning at John 3:16 Guest House. And that night, all of us 8 girls tried to figure out how to get our air conditioning to work, but for some reason, we couldn't figure it out. So that night, we basically just sweat through our sheets instead of sleeping. Then the next morning, we woke up with a bright greeting from Jay telling us all about the best sleep he'd ever had. We weren't too happy to hear that from him. And then later that day, Pastor Paul informed us that our air conditioner wasn't broken, our heater was just on. So if you can imagine sleeping in a room in Haiti with the heater on, you can kind of picture how hot it was. Take it from me, it's not really something you want to experience. But back to my point, the whole week at VBS there, the heat wasn't exactly on my mind. I remember after the first day at camp, Pastor Paul told us that morning at opening ceremonies, he said that we had been up there for more than an hour and a half, and opening ceremonies are held on a field with no shade, and basically the sun's just blaring down on you. We were all sort of shocked to hear that because we had felt like we were maybe out there for a maximum of 30 minutes. That was really a time when I realized that God was working there through the children to help us forget about how hot it was and the time we'd spent out there. The rest of the week there, the children in my group at VBS were really a light in my life, and their smiles every single morning and the rest of the day really put me in the best mood. I could probably talk about my trip there for hours, but I've really only been given 5 minutes. That whole week, I felt God working through big and small things, and I wish I could go back next summer, and I hope I can, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to. I really encourage you to go if you have the opportunity to. especially those of you in high school. I know the trip may seem scary because it's hot, and it might scare you also that you're in such a poor country, but the way you feel God working there, you really forget that you're not spending a week with luxuries that we have in the U.S., and you're really able to immerse yourself in the Haitian life and really work on building those relationships with the children and the people there. I was able to build so many memories that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, and I pray that I get a chance to go back to see those children that I built so many relationships with, and I hope these 5 minutes has given you a little glimpse into what it's like in Haiti, but it's something you can't exactly explain. You really need to go on the trip to fully experience.
Bonjour. Good morning. My name is Zadie, and this was my first mission trip to Haiti. I have written and rewritten this speech many times, and if you ask any of the members that went on this trip, they would tell you that 5 minutes is not enough to talk about the remarkable things that we experienced. I put a lot of thought into what I should talk about. Should I talk about the unmistakable brilliance that exudes from the children that we meet, or the selfless acts that they commit by saving their lunch to give it to their parents? Should I talk about the tap-tap rides that we felt every bump, and also there were some ripped pants along the way? Or should I talk about the time that we heated up our room instead of cooling it down? One of the most prevalent barriers that required a lot of patience and creativity was communication. Communication was difficult. There's only so many times that you can ask somebody how they're doing. One of my favorite moments was when Megan, another girl on the trip, and I decided to visit the Wings of Hope building. We were greeted by Lazar and David, two of the residents of Wings of Hope. As we began to toss around a soccer ball, Peterson, another resident, wanted to join in on the fun. As we tossed the ball to Lazar, then to David, then to Peterson, he started to smile. I had never seen this before. Usually Peterson walks around the Wings of Hope building with his head down and kind of keeps to himself. But with each toss, his grin began to grow. In Haiti, you develop your own language with the kids. A language that isn't defined by words, but instead defined by the joy felt from interacting with someone. This language helped to create a love that is unexplainable and unending. It is because of the love and joy that you wake up in the morning, and it is that love and joy that I miss the most. So if you have the opportunity to talk with any of us that went on the trip, I encourage you to do so, because we would love to share the light and the love that we experienced while on this trip. Thank you.
I want to thank each of our youth and now young adults who were able to share their experience. No small thing to be able to craft that together and then to deliver it to y'all on this morning, so thank you. One of those songs that we learn in Haiti is a song that we sing here in the States a lot. This is the day that the Lord has made. Except there it has a little bit more significance, because some of the homes that we work with, organizations, when they rescue children off of the streets and they bring them out of really desperate situations, they give them a new bed and a new family to love and surround them. They sing this song as a way to remind them that God has provided and God has given them a new future. And so that day is a true day of promise and hope. And so we're going to teach that song to you. Some of you have already sung this song before in Creole, and we're going to do it as well. If this is the first time for you to experience Haitian Creole, it sounds exactly like it looks, okay? Let's stand and sing. Would you? This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Now we say ça c'est un jour, ça c'est un jour, ça c'est un jour, gamet la tefe, à nous réjouir, et content pour ça, ça c'est un jour, gamet la tefe, à nous réjouir, et content pour ça, ça c'est un jour, gamet la tefe. Jesus is the way, Jesus is the way, Jesus is the way that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, Jesus is the way that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Jesus is the way that the Lord has made. Ça c'est one more time. Ça c'est un jour, gamet la tefe, à nous réjouir, et content pour ça, Ça c'est un jour, gamet la tefe, à nous réjouir, et content pour ça. Ça c'est un jour, gamet la tefe. Good job, y'all. You didn't know you were going to come to church, learn some Creole this morning, did you? We got some anyway.